Hey y'all, it's me, Slayed by Jordan. Happy New Year! So today I got an exciting video for you all. I haven't done one in a long time. I think like almost over a year. We're gonna be doing a leave out sewing today, like a traditional sewing with leave out. And the company we'll be working with today is Beauty Forever Hair. Let's get into the packaging. We have two wig caps, one lace band like this that says Beauty Forever, and another lace band. We also have some lashes and like a little makeup brush thingy. 4 bundles of 30-inch body wave hair. Let's open it up. So these are the 4 bundles, 30-inch body wave. Let's get into it. First of all, super soft off the bat. Fingers running straight through. Love that. And so we're gonna dye these jet black today, and then we're gonna do some crimps. So we're just gonna do a middle part sewing with leave out, jet black with crimps. My friend, Beautiful Hustler, she's here today from Miami. And yeah, let's get this install started.
Hey guys, y'all know the vibes.
Hey y'all, we're about to get this sewing started. She's freshly washed, blow dried, deconditioned, and trimmed.
Yes.
We get her hair back healthy and thick. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
So today we're going to do a center part. So we're going to part her hair down the middle, and we're going to separate her leave out on both sides of the part. Depending on your length and your thickness will determine how much hair you will leave out. And this is how much hair we left out for her leave out. We're also going to leave the edges out just to reduce any tension on her hairline. Her hairline is a little thin, and we want to preserve it as much as possible. So you want to go ahead and leave that out. And it also gives a more natural look when you wear your hair behind your ear or anything like that. It just, it just appears more realistic, like it's your hair. So I like to leave the edges out on both sides as well. Just a little thin row. And also to relieve tension when she moves her head up and down, left or right, we're going to comb down those nape hairs and twist those out the way. This is so her sewing can be very comfortable. I've been doing hair for about 8 years, and I was first known for my leave out sewings. So I know that if you braid those nape hairs and you sew tight and you braid tight, it's going to hurt. And you don't want to hurt your clients. You want your clients to be as comfortable as possible. So just leave out that very thin row in the back. It's not going to kill you. You don't even have to press that out if you don't want to. Just leave it out so that tension in the back won't be so much. Because we all about making sure the style is cute, but you also want it to be comfortable and you don't want it to pull your hair out. So now I just took a cream oil moisturizer. We're going to put that all over her hair just to keep her actual hair moisturized underneath this install as well. We tend to just oil the scalp, but the hair needs moisture too. It's no reason for it to just be dry while it's braided down. So now we're going to do 2 anchor braids. I do this on each side of the leave out. We're just going to braid it straight back, and it's going to meet in the middle, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about in just a second. And I do add weave for these braids.
Your problems never needed solving. I was too good till you should have stayed silent. Nice guys always finish off where they started. They shot fool, you wanted things and you got it. They shot fool, I wanted smoke and I got it. Deja vu, deja, deja. I should have put you somewhere where no one could find you. Man, you're not gonna speak with nothing around you. Katy, Texas, Dallas, Texas, you know a different environment. Cause you got desire.
And those are our two braids, and we're just gonna leave those alone for now. And now we're gonna do the rest of our perimeter braids. We're gonna take this braid all the way down the side, around her ear, and stop it once we get to the other side on the back of her nape. This is just so we have the most secure braiding foundation and that everything flows together perfectly. We don't want any braids with any gaps in it around the perimeter. Now, on the inside of the perimeter, you can have gaps in between your braids, but on those perimeter braids, we don't need any gaps whatsoever. So this is why I do this.
Self-control has never been a thing. Don't think it'll help if there's a ring with a rock in it. Where I'm from, they serve the soul to clean. You come from a city where there's lean with the rocks in it. How the fuck you keep so many secrets? How you pouring vegan but still be feeling me again? How the fuck you swing so many beaches? Tickets to them places don't come cheap with. I see it back in search, remember who took it first, so don't you forget it. That's you with, we ain't got back on the shit. I had to tell Eric, go get it. I'm always moving too fast and feeling no.
And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side off camera. And now we're just going to start our regular up and down braids. We're just going to braid the hair down. And once we start our second braid, we're going to take that in and add it to the new braid. And we're just going to do that all the way around, just your normal braiding pattern.
Why would you tell me those lies? Why would you make it so bold to my face? Why are your stories all over the place? Whole lot of secrets friends don't keep safe. Where did your friends all go? I can't solve your problems. You say your problems never needed solving. I was too good, so you should've stayed silent. Nice guys always finish off where they started. Deja vu, you wanted things and you got it. Deja vu, I wanted smoke and I got it. Deja vu, deja, deja.
And this is the braiding pattern after it's finished. If you was wondering what we did with those first two braids, we just added those in with the rest of them, and we ended with one braid. Now we're gonna take this last braid and we're gonna sew it to her head using blonde thread. I use blonde thread because it's easier to identify what is thread and what is hair when taking out this install. We're just trying to prevent cutting the new growth or any parts of the hair as possible. So I like to use blonde thread. It's just a little, extra thing I do to just ensure that, the install and the takedown of this, service is amazing. So now we're going to take some oil and oil her scalp very thoroughly. I don't really judge when it comes to oils, honey. I just use whatever is on my station, if I'm being honest. And if you ain't got no oil and all you got is grease, hey, use that too. I just prefer you put something on the scalp than it just be dry. Now we're gonna take our weaving net and we're gonna sew this around the perimeter of her braids. Y'all, I like to use the weaving net because as you can see from her perimeter braid and those other braids that are just, pulled up into the next braid, there is a huge gap. And on that huge gap, I can sew on that net. And also to me, the net makes the foundation more, not only does it make it more secure, it makes it more flat, especially for those clients who have very thick hair. You would definitely want to use a net. I pretty much always use a net just because it allows me to get the most hair in. I can sew on the net when it's not a braid there. It's just, it's just a win-win situation. So I highly recommend you do use a net. And now it's time to sew our first bundle in. I like to first pull the needle through the braid and then open up the two pieces of the thread and stick the needle through and pull it through. That creates a knot on the braid. And then I take my needle and I actually stick it through the beginning of the track and I start sewing my first track down. I do double my wefts. I double these wefts pretty much all the way through. I think the last track I singled, but I like to double my wefts just to get as much hair in as possible. If we're really, really going for a very, very flattened style, I may just double the first three and then single the last one. Or I may single all of them if I just feel like I got all the time in the world, but I don't. So today we're going to double these wefts. And on my first row, I like to sew underneath the braid just in case they want to pull the hair up or just for whatever reason you don't see any braid. So I do sew under the braid. I don't know if you could tell, but I do that on the first braid. And I also do the flip method. I don't cut my tracks. I'm about to show you what I do right now. So with the flip method, I let one piece of the track go and I only fold over one at first. So look at that. I'm going to show you in just a second. I let one part of the track go. I fold that one track and I sew on top of it probably like twice. And I just keep sewing. And then eventually you're going to meet the other track as well. Fold that as well, sew it twice, and you're just gonna keep on going. I like to drop one track when I'm folding the wefts because it ensures that it's flat and it's not bumpy right there. That's why I do that. Me explaining that probably wasn't the best, but if you look closely, I did drop one of the tracks when I was folding it over. And that just ensures flatness. We love flatness. We love volume, but we love flatness. I hate a bumpy, lumpy sewing. I'm going to make sure you right, honey. And now we're down to sewing our last track on this side by this side of the leave out. So as you can see, it's double, but I'm gonna cut that bottom track out the way. And we're just gonna single it till we get to the end of this braid. That's just to ensure flatness and that everything is just very seamless. And I'm sewing very close together on that last track because you don't want any thread popping. And if you haven't noticed the whole video, when I pull the needle through the braid, I pull it through the track and I wrap the thread around the needle twice, and that just ensures that it's not coming loose. And that's that. I also like to use my hot comb to, lay it down flat. I may add some hairspray, whatever to just ensure that around my leave out is very flat. So once I press my leave out, everything just lays flawlessly. So I finished the other side of that last track on the other side of the leave out off camera. And this is the hair after I blow dried it with some Tresemme heat protecting spray. And now we're about to get into this leave out. So I did apply some Oblifica Sea Berry hair serum for fine to medium hair off camera. Now I'm just gonna hot comb the leave out first on both sides, and then we're gonna press it using our Babyliss Nano Titanium 1-inch flat irons. I actually pressed her hair on the highest setting, just so I could just do one pass and get it in there real good. And that was that. I didn't really spray any like harsh hairsprays and stuff like that on her leave out, like drench it down like how I used to do back in the day. Back in like 2016, we used to load the hair with spritz on the leave out. But now we're in our soft girl era, so honey, we like soft hair. I did spray some spritz over the leave out after I got done, just to ensure that it blends flawlessly with her bundles. But you definitely don't want to spray hella spritz on your leave out. That's just not the look we go for now in 2023. So now we're about to do our crimps. I like to take my freeze spray and spray it very liberally on the top and bottom of the section. Comb that through with a rat tail comb and press down. I am using a Ion triple barrel waver on 450 degrees. This is hands down my favorite crimping iron. I've been using this crimping iron for years, about 5-6 years now. Hands down the best crimper you're gonna ever use. It gets so hot and lasts. It just does what it needs to do, and I love it. And after you finish each crimp, you want to make sure you spray it again with some more freeze spray and just go to your next section. So we're going to repeat the same steps. We're going to spray that freeze spray liberally on top and bottom of the section, comb it through with our red tail comb, and start pressing down. And I like to press down for a minimum of 10 seconds per press. Also, pro tip, when you pull your next row down, Make sure that your crimps are not laying directly on top of each other and that they are laying in between each other. As you can see, the crimp I'm doing now, once I get finished, it's going to lay in between those two crimps that I did at the bottom and not be laying directly on top of either one of them. Want to make sure that it lays in a brick pattern. That way, when you get done, all your crimps flow together and you don't see gaps in between your crimps. That's why they call me the Crimp King, baby, because you know. Period. And these are the crimps. After I finish all of them, I'm going to take my Beyond the Zones, turn up the heat spray to give the hair a beautiful gloss. I'm going to spray that liberally all over the hair. And then I'm going to show y'all how I separate my crimps. Because I don't leave them just like this. You can if you want to, but I like to separate mine to give a more soft girl era look. I just take some of that Beyond the Zone, put it on my fingertips, and I run my fingers through the hair one time all the way through. And that's how I get my crimps, y'all.
Niggas don't know how I live, but that's 'cause they live at the high. 4F steps, ain't stepping on shit to the spot. He brought me the money set up, I still had to count it, I cannot just hide. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's that sex in the bank. Telling her open the safe. I hate a privileged rapper who don't even know what it takes. The diamonds they hit like a rainbow, that's 'cause the neck is a frame. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's that sex in the nines.
Let's do a quick recap of this final look. That's the final look. Ow. Shout out to Beauty Forever Hair. We'll see y'all in the next one. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe and turn on those notification bells. All information will be in the description box below. Goodbye.